It's the Bible commandments.
Yeah, we post up truth bombs at the mic. Aharon Yasharahla lighting up the night. Vigilant watchmen never snoring off the grind. Eyes on the news, peeping all the signs. They sling lies, we bringing clarity. Breaking down the script, straight sincerity. Headlines shifty, gotta stay woke. Truth in every word, not just a hefty joke. Current affairs, tune in, y'all listen close. Aharon Yasharahla hit you with the most. No fluff, just facts, we dissecting the scene. Radio wave, sharp, cut and clean. Modern day prophets, echoes of the past. We see through the smoke, these lies won't last. Real talk, mountains from the molehills. Truth reigns supreme over fake thrills. Government plots, we expose the schemes. Politics dirty, trying to crush dreams. From the ghettos to the burbs, we keep it raw. Current affairs, y'all feeling every law. Current affairs, tune in, y'all listen close. Aharon Yasharahla hit you with the most. No fluff, just facts, we dissecting the scene. Radio wave, sharp, cut and clean.
Yo, what's up, family? How y'all doing this evening? How you doing this morning? Good afternoon? If you can listen to my beautiful and wonderful voice, see my gorgeous mug. How y'all doing out there, family? I'm glad you're right there with me. Listen, what's going on, Ephraim? How you doing? I'm glad you could tune in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Like
6,
it's been a
7,
long
8,
time,
9.
family. We just
It's
last
the
week.
Bible commandments.
Have good people that you love and a family that you love and friends that you love and neighbors that you love. It seems like a long time we don't get to see them, speak to them, hear from them. So I'm glad I'm back on this channel, on this stage. All praises to the Most High, because nothing happens without him. Nothing happens without him. So how y'all doing out there, family? How you doing out there, people? I'm doing good, despite things that are going on. Life is life, and as we say, I'm doing good. I can't complain. I woke up, so right there I'm winning. You woke up, right there you winning. You know what I mean? So blessed by the best. Blessed by the best. So I just want to thank you all for listening to me. Thank you to those who are behind the scenes, who make this train go. Give you blessings to you. So, family, I want to start off by saying my saying of the day. If you listen to me in the past, I usually start off with a saying of the day. And, since I really just came back on recently, I'm trying to get things back in order in the way I used to do things, okay? So, with that said, family, my saying of the day tonight is, and I always have my things written down, so forgive me if you see that I'm reading. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But my saying of the day, family, goes according as such. Yesterday, family, is history. This is my saying of the day. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift from God, which is why we call it the present. That's just something that I found. So again, the saying of the day. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow, family, is a mystery. Today is a gift from God, which we call it the present. Get it? The present, the present, today. That's deep. That's deep. So, I say that again, family, because we got to give the Most High his usury in all we do. We got to give Christ his usury in all we do. Give the Most High his usury through his son, Christ. Christ gave us talents. Most of us say we don't know what our talents are, but we do. Whatever job you have, that might be a talent. I say it might because not everyone, whatever job they're on, it might not be their talent. It might be something they're just doing for the time being, until that talent job comes along. You might be a framer. You might be an electrician. You might be a writer. You might be a singer. You might be a producer. If you're good at what you do, that's one of your talents, because we have more than one talent. Some talents should dominate others, right? So I just wanted to share the little tidbit, family. So moving along, right? going on to my first article, or my first topic, I should say. Now, a lot of us like to indulge in beverages. Some of us like to drink water. Some people think water is nasty. Some of us like to drink alcoholic beverages, is where I'm going to. And for me, for one, yeah, I like to drink wine. A little wine doesn't hurt people. Even Christ drank some wine. Didn't hurt. Just don't get drunk. But did you know, family, that alcohol sales are down and Americans are walking away from drinking? Now, when I saw this run across my screen, you got your phone, looking at your phone, you see something, bloop, press the button, looking at it, see what's happening. I'm like, it was very interesting because drinking is a long pastime. I mean, people was drinking even during the prohibition era, right? It never stopped. People have been drinking ever since the biblical days, ever since the old days. It's just a long tradition that is with man, not just Americans, but with man. It's a worldwide thing. Been going on since the age of man, right? So when I found this, family, I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, honestly, if alcohol has plunged, that's really not a bad thing. Because I'm looking at it I thought about it from the bad point of view where you have drinking and driving. So I'm like, maybe that can cut down on some drinking and driving. Now, this actually is a good thing as well because too much alcohol consumption is bad. From what we understand, it corrodes livers, maybe even kidneys. Long-term effects, if you drink heavily, is going to start corroding your mind. It's going to give you memory loss. It has some bad effects to it, some ill effects to it. So when I found this article, family, I had to dive a little deeper into it. And my question was why? Why are alcohol sales plummeting? Because I'm like, that's one thing that we do. Hey, Rich, what's going on? Glad to see you, family. Glad to see you tuned in. So why are alcohol sales plummeting? Now, it was very interesting when I found out. Now, according to whiskeypulse.com, is where I found this information. People in their 20s and 30s see their bodies as an investment. Now, I see bodies as an investment, and these people rather smoke marijuana or go to the gym, right? And I'm now going back, let me back up. People see these youngsters see their bodies as investments, which is great because our bodies are temples. And if you know anything of what scriptures say, and again, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor. I can only tell you what I have read in the Bible. And the Bible does tell us that our bodies are temples. Our bodies are the temples of God. That's where the church resides, in our bodies. So with that said, these these individuals in the 20s and 30s see their bodies as temples. I'm like, are they thinking about the part that the Most High dwells in them? Our bodies are our temples. That's right, family. So that was my first thought. I'm like, wow, that's very intriguing. And then he goes on to say that they'd rather smoke marijuana or go to the gym. I'm like, Now, I don't smoke. I don't smoke anything. Now I used to. It's always everyone has the past, right? So I used to smoke. I used to indulge in it. And when I did indulge in it, and I don't condone it, but when I did indulge in it, right, I would rather have smoked than drink. But I never thought about I'm preserving my body more. I just like one more than the other, right? So with that said, let me go ahead and read on some more that I have jotted down here. Now, as a result, family, you heard Jim Beam products, Jim Beam whiskey, Jim Beam bourbon. As a result, Jim Beam is considering shutting down production. And that's deep. Jim Beam is a juggernaut when it comes to alcohol sales. My dad, rest his soul, used to work for Jim Beam. And when I say work for them, His job was actually to golf for Jim Beam. So his job was just golf. He was a golfer, and Jim Beam was his sponsor. But when he wasn't golfing, he did whatever he did in the plant. I couldn't tell you what he did, but he worked for Jim Beam. But if you know anything about Jim Beam, you know that Jim Beam is a big production of alcohol, not in just the U.S., but worldwide. So for Jim Beam to say that they're losing so many sales that they're considering shutting down, ooh, that's deep. That means a lot of alcohol sales are going down. So also, uh, as I'm reading my notes here, also drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy medications suppress appetite and surprisingly cravings for alcohol. So these people who are taking those crazy drugs such as Ozempic and Wegovy, they suppress appetites and suppress the craving for alcohol. And I thought that was disturbingly impressive, because we know what Ozempic allegedly does to people and Wegovy allegedly, right? As far as the side effects. So for that to be a side effect to suppress not just appetite, but suppress the craving for alcohol and or liquor, that is amazing. That is amazing. Now, what I will say, family, drink responsibly. Drink responsibly. Okay? Just that's all I can say, because I don't condone alcohol. Yes, I have taken a drink here and there. I do take a drink here and there, wine a lot, but I don't condone getting drunk. We've all been in our 20s. At one point I was in a frat, so you know what they do in frats and sororities. We, as I say, we got it in. Yeah, so I had my share, but I don't condone alcohol. I don't condone marijuana. I only condone things that are pure, things that are right, righteous things. That is what I condone. And that's why I try to stay around people who are like-minded, right? Now, before I actually move on to my next article, I do want to mention something, family. And I didn't send this in deliberately because it was just very interesting. I want to speak about. And this is about newborns in 2026. I thought this was very interesting what Trump is doing. I don't know if you know about this, family, but Trump is opening bank accounts for newborns in 2026. So any newborns, any babies that are born in 2026, Trump is going to open a $1,000 account in that newborn child's name. And when I saw this, family, I'm like, that's kind of dope. It's kind of dope, but why? Why would Trump open up accounts for newborns in 2026? That's going to be a plethora of accounts, because there are babies born every second, every minute, every day. And from what I understand, births have decreased over the past years. But what is it? What is Trump getting out of that? So the stipulation is on that $1,000 Trump account for newborns in 2026 is that individual, that child, cannot touch it until they're at least 18 years of age, or the earliest 18. And if this comes to fruition, that if they're smart, they won't touch it until they're into their well in their 30s or 40s, or even beyond. Because once you tell somebody got some money laying around and they can go get it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get that, especially if they need that. So when I looked at it, this was part of Trump's beautiful big bill. That bill he came out with, that's cutting things like SNAP benefits and Medicaid and Medicare, it's part of that big, beautiful bill. So now it would be good, family, if they didn't touch it, because if they don't touch it, usually accounts like that, high yield accounts, they usually yield about 8 to 10% return on these kind of accounts. And if you do the math to it, that's a good chunk of change if they keep it well into the 30s, 40s, and 50s and don't touch it. Now they have a nice chunk by the time they're 18, maybe about $6,000 or somewhere in that nature, in that realm, I should say, maybe even more. But my question was, why is the Trump administration really doing this? I mean, could it be allegedly to keep track of people? Because these are things you have to think about when you have an administration such as a presidency administration doing things like this, or even if it's Congress. You have to think about why. Because they're always doing things to throw us off kilter. So we can look this way when something is happening that way. So that's just something I want to bring up that make you go, what is the end game for that? What is the end game for that? Now, moving along, family, to the next article that I did find. And I do have a few articles. Now, this next one, family, I got to bring this out because we all have cell phones, right? I have a cell phone, but I'm an Android man. I don't know if y'all remember when Androids first came out. When I first saw the Android commercial, it was like droid. I was like, oh, I got to have that right there. I want that right there. And so I went and got, yeah, it can't be good. It can't be good. So I went and got me an Android phone. I wanted to say that to preface what I'm about to say. iPhone users, I'm not an iPhone user. I don't have an iSlave. I'm an Android man. iPhone users, family, you need to beware. You need to beware because there is, Apple has confirmed that hundreds of millions of iPhones are at risk because of a cyber attack, a serious cyber attack. Now, this article, family, comes from Fox News. The one that Trump is saying, fake news. Oh, this is fake news. Now, this is legit. Apple has confirmed that hundreds of millions of iPhones are at risk due to a sophisticated cyber attack that exploits a security flaw in the iPhone. Now, Apple did release, family, a fix as soon as the problem was discovered. So don't fret. They did, as soon as it was discovered, the cyber attack flaw, that could be a flaw and therefore cyber attack. They did put a fix out as soon as possible that included the fix in its latest, that's right, Android. That's right, fam, Android. But in the latest update, it included a fix. But they also said that more than 50% of iPhone users hadn't even done the update. And I can understand why, because sometimes updates come. Again, I don't have an iPhone, right? They're the number one phone to get stolen. But these updates come at any time. Sometimes they come when you might be in the middle of something and it just start updating. Now they have it to where it say update now or do it at such and such time, and that's usually what I do. Do it like wee hours in the morning when I know I'm gonna be asleep, or the time that I pick that I know I'm not going to be on my phone. So and see, I tell people, them iPhones gonna get you. So now look, cyber attacks are imminent, especially if you don't do the upgrade to your phone. Now, let me go a little bit deeper into this because it's not just, it is just the iPhone, but I'm going to tell you the actual devices that are affected. I did find that as well. If you are an iPhone user, family, those affected devices are the iPhone 11 and later devices, the iPad Pro 12.9-inch third generation and later, the iPad Pro 11-inch first generation and later, the iPad Air third generation and later, the iPad 8th generation and later, the iPad Mini 5th generation and later. Now, I'll repeat those. Affected iPhone devices that could succumb to the cyber attack. The iPhone 11 or later and later. The iPad Pro 12.9-inch 3rd generation and later. The iPad Pro 11-inch 1st generation and later. The iPad Air 3rd generation and later. The iPad 8th generation and later. iPad Mini 5th generation and later. Now, of course, if your phone doesn't automatically do it, like I just mentioned previously, doesn't automatically do the update for you, you can actually do it manually, do it yourself. Just go to your settings on your phone and you can find it from there. Right? Shouldn't be that hard. But listen, I tell people, you better come over here to this Android game. It's good over here, like it said, you can float down here. But float in a good way, right? So again, iPhone users, really be staunch on upping your iPhone game as far as these updates are concerned, because I don't know if you knew, but iPhones are the #1 phone to get stolen. The #1 phone. And I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame that they're doing this to these iPhones. Now, I won't be surprised if they say that Android has a cyber attack on it as well. Yeah, you're right, Rich. You ain't the only one. Every time I use an iPhone as well, I end up messing something up. I can't use no iPhone. And then my brother tells me, because he got an iPhone. My older brother, he says, once you got an iPhone, you can't go back to Droid. I know you lying. That's why I tell him, I know you lying. Because they just seem difficult to use. I don't want no iPhone. And then when iPhone people share, when these iPhone people actually share, right, then share with Android, the picture's all minuscule. You ever notice that? Why is it so small? Why are they seem like they're incompatible with one another when they say they're compatible with one another? Go figure. Trips me out. I mean, it's a hair scratcher to me. That's why I ain't got no eye slave. I said it, eye slaves, right? Android, y'all better come on in. How they say, you better smell the coffee. Wake up and smell the coffee and come to the other side, right? So for those of you who may have just come in, let me just go ahead and just give you a quick rundown of what I was speaking about. I did start off with my saying of the day, and the saying of the day this evening, family, is yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift from God, which is why we call it the present. Get it? The present. I also talked about, family, that alcohol sales, surprisingly, have plummeted dramatically. And I'm glad I'm going back to this and just recapping what I'm going over, because that's really hard. I mean, are people really going after other drugs like that outside of marijuana? What are people doing like that? And when I was looking at it even further, outside of people using Ozempic and Wegovy, which takes away the craving for alcohol, I was looking into non-alcoholic drinks that these 20s and 30-year-olds say they'd rather have. They'd rather have something that tastes good, but doesn't give them that effect that the alcohol does. Meaning slurred words if you drink too much. Maybe even blurred vision if you drink too much. I guess that's when you're about to pass out. We've all been there. But they are calling their bodies temples, which I don't think that these youngsters are saying are thinking about the Bible when they say that, because our bodies are our temples, the temples of the Most High. But I don't think they're going that route. But if they were, all praise to the Most High for putting that in their members. All praise to the Most High. Then I also mentioned, family, that Trump is opening accounts for newborns born in this year of 2026. And for newborns in America, he's going to open up an account that would be holding $1,000. Now, the catch to it is that these people, these newborns, will not be able to touch these until they mature to 18 or beyond, until that person is 18 years old or older, 18 being the oldest. Now, another question that I do have about that just came to my mind is, what if they revoke that right? The person hits 18 and they're like, you can't have this money. They have every right to do that. Every right. If I open up an account for someone and tell them and the stipulation is you can't touch until such and such time, I can always go back and change that. Still my account. I open it up for you. So what if the Trump administration does that? So that's something they have to be ready for or have thought of. Oh, see, okay, so the picture thing with Rich is done on purpose. Okay. I can't argue that because I'm not an iPhone user, right? Yeah, and you're right. Android is where it's at. So another topic that I spoke about, family. Um, well, before I move on, my question was, why is he opening up $1,000 accounts for newborns? I mean, it's a good gesture. It's a good deed. But think about this. If Trump can open up, or the Trump administration can open up accounts for all these newborns, and we don't know how many are going to be born this year. Why can't they give us these tariff payments, more stimulus for people who are in need, more assistance for mortgages, or even family, or even what they were talking about last year, or even allegedly reparations. If they have all this money from tariffs, reparations, what harm will it do? I'm just saying. Just another thought came to my brain. Now, I also mentioned iPhone users beware, because there is a malicious, wicked hack that iPhone users could suffer. And Apple did confirm that hundreds of millions of iPhone users are at risk due to a sophisticated cyber attack. Now, they did put a fix, family, in the latest update for iPhone users. Yes, sir. I'm glad you chimed in. Yeah, it does sound like it could be a nefarious reason behind the money for babies. Now, listen. Let's back up since you wrote that. Let's back up. And I like this chiming in. What else could it be? Nefarious reasons for babies. They say it's all about the children, right? They say it's all about the children, and we heard about quote unquote or alleged sacrificing. Not saying that the Trump administration does that, but we've heard about sacrifices, allegedly. Babies, children. Could this be another way, family, that they get these alleged sacrificial bodies for Molech, allegedly? I mean, who knows? Because there's all kind of buffoonery going on out in this world. There's all kind of Satanism going on in this world. So we really don't know. And that's another reason they brought out AI, to confuse us. As the scriptures tell us, again, I'm no preacher, I'm no pastor, but as the scriptures tell us, if it were possible, they could even trick the very elect. That's why we see AI and we don't even know if it's real or fake. Hard to tell. Moving along, family, iPhone users, beware. Beware. Download the latest software update. Now, I got a few more articles I want to speak to you about, and some of them are, they're always good. They're always good. Don't worry about that. But now, I do want to put this out here family, for those of you for this weekend, for those of you who live in North and South Carolina, beware. Prepare accordingly, because they're talking about this storm coming, an ice storm in some places and snowstorm in other places, and it's going to be bitterly cold. So prepare accordingly. If you need to go get you some salt, go get some salt. Be ready. They're even talking about here in South Carolina shutting down school for a few days because it's going to be bitterly cold. But here in South Carolina, they're not ready for any of that. We had snow last year, and I think we got like 2 inches, but it was extremely cold. So it lasted for maybe about 4 or 5 days. Not snowing, but just snow on the ground that did snow, and it froze. So you know how that was. So prepare yourself accordingly, family, for the snow and ice to come that is going to hit South and North Carolina, amongst other places, Virginia, Georgia, but especially for the Carolinas, especially South Carolina. Prepare yourself accordingly, because when you know better, you do better. Now, I do have a few more articles that I want to speak about. The next article, family, I really formulate this in a question, and we've heard about this if you've been keeping track of the news, which we should have, if we believe in the Bible. Politics and the Bible go hand in hand. So Trump has talked about acquiring Greenland. But why, family, does Trump want to acquire Greenland? Now, I looked this up, and I was like, wow, I got some stuff. And I got it on my phone. I didn't write it down. I got it on my phone, though, some notes here. Now, Donald Trump's interest in acquiring Greenland. He really voiced this in 2019. So one reason that he would want to get Greenland sits, and I didn't know this, Greenland, family, sits in a critical Arctic location between North America and Europe. So it's location, right? It hosts the Thule, Thule, the Thule Air Base, which is now, forgive my pronunciation, the Pituffik Space Base, which is a key U.S. installation for missile early warning systems, space surveillance, and Arctic defense. As the Arctic opens up due to melting ice, Greenland, family, becomes even more important for monitoring Russia and China. Right? Now, another reason Trump wants to acquire Greenland, and I don't need to say allegedly because it's out there. He says he wants to acquire Greenland. Competition with China and Russia. Trump's administration was very focused on countering China's global expansion, because China has shown interest in Arctic shipping routes, mining projects in Greenland, infrastructure investments, and Russia has been heavily militarizing the Arctic. So of course, Trump, the U.S. wants to stick the nose there. Now, owning Greenland, family, shalom. I'm glad you could join in. Now, for someone who owns Greenland, owning Greenland would block Chinese economic footholds and secure U.S. dominance in the Arctic region. Now, whoever actually gets that area will secure that dominance. Another reason, family, that Trump wants to acquire Greenland is because of natural resources. Greenland is rich in untapped sources, including rare earth materials, which are critical for electronics, EVs, and defense tech, oil and natural gas, largely unexplored, freshwater and fisheries. And again, as ice melts, access becomes easier, making Greenland economically valuable in the long term. Now, a few more points. It's an historical precedent. Trump wasn't the first U.S. leader to consider this, right? The U.S. tried to buy Greenland in 1867 and also again in 1946. I don't know if you knew that. The U.S. already has long-standing defense agreements with Denmark over Greenland. Now, Trump viewed it as a real estate-style strategic purchase, consistent with his transactional worldview, right? Now, the bottom line, right? Well, first of all, why this actually failed. Greenland is not for sale, right? Denmark firmly rejected the idea. Greenland's own government emphasized self-determination, and the proposal caused diplomatic backlash and was widely criticized as unrealistic. But the bottom line is, family, Trump's interest in Greenland was about power projection, national security, future resources, and blocking rivals. That's the bottom line. Power projection, national security, future resources, and blocking rivals. So what do you think about that? Those are the reasons why Trump wants to acquire Greenland. Now, another piece of information or article that I want to present to you in question form. Pull this up here. It actually goes back to, it actually kind of pertains to when I was speaking about alcohol, right? And my question is this. When there's a scare or a panic, family, why is water hard to get, but liquor is not? Have you ever thought about that? I brought this up because it was a good question. And this question actually came from my beloved bishop. When panic ensues, family, why is H2O scarce and hard to get, but alcohol is not? That's something to make you go, if you ever thought about that. So what I have here, what I have written down is this. Now, when people panic, they prioritize what they believe they cannot live without. Now, we know humans can survive without food for weeks, but only days without water. So that's one reason. So people, family, instinctively hoard water first, often far more than they realistically need to. Look at what happened when that pandemic happened, right? That alleged pandemic happened in 2020. Toilet paper. People ran and got toilet paper. Like, I'm going to take a boo-boo. All these days be locked down. That was silly. But panic ensued fear, and they bought up all the toilet paper. Now, another reason I have here that water is used for multiple needs during emergencies or scares. Water isn't just for drinking; it's for cooking, hygiene, medical use, cleaning. You know, one case of bottled water might be gone in a day or two for a family in a couple days. They say that depending on how many people are in your household, you need at least 2 cases of water per person. So if you got 10 people in your household, you need to have at least 20 cases of water, right? Because water does go fast. Now, I didn't know this, but the supply chains are built differently. Water supply is fragile in emergencies, as we come to find out. Bottled water is bulky and heavy. Transportation is expensive and slower. Local bottling plants can shut down during storms, and the demand for water strikes instantly when there's a scare. Now, liquor supply chains are more resilient, family. Higher profit margins, uh, prioritize restocking, less bulk per dollar, longer shelf life that alcohol has, and liquor is often stocked in surplus. Now, there's also this to contend with buying limits and social pressure. Stores often impose limits on water. They run out quickly due to panic buying. Now, liquor, on the other hand, liquor rarely has limits, family, as we know. You can go in there and you can buy up the whole shelf of liquor, the whole shelf, right? People feel social pressure buying 10 cases of water. Why? I don't know. But no one blinks at someone buying alcohol. They're going to say, where the party at? I'm coming with you. Where the party at? But you buying 10 cases of water. People just like, what you got going on? That's like calling good, bad, and bad good. The scriptures talk about that too. Woe to those who says evil is good and good is evil. I'm just saying. right? Also, we have here uh, price and substitution effects. Water is cheap, people overbuy. Liquor is expensive, demand naturally caps itself. If water is gone, there's no substitute, literally. And if one liquor brand is gone, people switch brands. But the bottom line simple answer is that water disappears because everyone family needs it. Everyone buys it at once and it's hard to move fast. Liquor stays because fewer people buy it. Supply chains are sturdier and it's not essential. So boom. So that's in a nutshell why uh in famines or scarcities water goes so fast and liquor does not. So I hope that my arguments or my points that I brought up gives people some clarity. So when there is another pandemic, buy you some liquor. Buy you some liquor, because who knows? We may not be able to go out for some time. You may have to barter to get some food with some liquor. That person might have some eggs and cheese and some rice over there. They ain't got no liquor. And now they ain't got no cigarettes. They want some of that liquor because they jonesing. I'm just saying. You never know. You never know, especially in today's world. You never know about what is going on. Now, I do want to stop here for a second, family, and just touch on what I always touch on, and that is naturally glam cosmetics. Naturally Glam, family, as you know, as I've been promoting Naturally Glam skincare and cosmetics, is an all natural brand made by none other than my beautiful wife, Asha Chanel, or Asha Yasharahla, my beautiful wife. She makes women's beauty products, men's skincare products, makes men's beard creams. She makes lotions. She makes shampoos. She makes women's yoni steams. She makes candles. We even have sea moss juice and gel. And these products are all natural, family, all natural. And, not to toot her horn. Well, yeah, yes, I am. Yes, I am. But we have a sister in our body who has her own, and I said this last broadcast, who has her own beauty salon in Myrtle Beach. She acquired some of these products for my wife, and she told my wife that she's sitting on $1 million product. I'm just saying. It's great. I mean, like I said before, I used the skincare stuff for my beard, right? It makes my beard soft because as a black man, we got coarse hair. So when I would comb my hair, it sounded like biting into an apple. Hard, rough, rugged, and raw. Nigerian hair, right? So when she gave me this cream, I'll put it on my beard, get it all up in there, comb it in, brush it in, and then family, yes, yes, vegan. There's no products. It's not like going to buy some Tide detergent and then all of a sudden you're breaking out. No, no, no. This is so natural, so authentic. You can literally eat the product. But I was using the beard cream, and I had this spot on my ear, dry skin spot. I'm like, what's a cream? Boop, put it right on there. Like it can't do no harm. It's no chemicals in it. Family, do you know this spot on my ear started to dry up within days? I was like, all praise to the Most High. You can't make this up. As Rich, he buys products. All praises to the Most High. That's right. You see, if we got it together, family, if we got it together and come back to the Most High, we had this thing on lock. We created everything. Look at what our ancestors did. Everything. Everything. We created it all. Egypt could not function without us. This new Babylon cannot function without us. We built it. We leave, it falls asunder. It really, really does. So go ahead and try out Naturally Glam Skincare and Cosmetics because it is worth it. Now, I need to say this tidbit too. And my wife told me that she was making her own products when she was a teenager. And she had stopped for a while. And when she did pick it back up some years ago, it's so funny, family. We were watching that show Breaking Bad. Everyone's seen Breaking Bad, what they were whipping up, right? What they were creating. Well, she was sitting there watching it one day and she was like, Eureka, I know what I'm gonna do. And when the show was off, she went in there on that stove and she made her first product. I think it was a lotion or something like that. And she does make soaps. As a matter of fact, I went to work today with a soap that my wife made that one of my coworkers requested, and I sold that to them this morning. So yes, she does have soap. And I'm like, when she made the soap, I'm like, what is this? She's like, it's soap. I'm like, oh, really? And then, family, you can actually look and see. Like, it looked like it is gonna work wonders. She even made it with some sea moss. I was like, you go, girl. I told her, I said, you go, girl. Like Mike used to say, you go, girl. Oh man. So yeah, go ahead and check out Naturally Glam Skincare and Cosmetics and purchase you some of those products. Uh we got to keep it in the family. We have to support black owned local businesses, especially when it's part of a local body. That's what's up, Rich. I'm glad you're about to put another order in. Got some sea moss too, so just let me know. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving along, family. Now, I want to tell you all about my week. I have had a good week. All praises to the Most High. Right? I've had a good week. I have a good wife. I have a good family. I have a good job. Um, but I do want to say, if you have anyone who is sick out there, call them, check on them. I say that because I have a mom who is an older woman. She took that jab and it's messing her up. But I love her to life. She calls me a lot, more often than she used to, and I'm happy for that because she's suffering from memory loss now. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say that. Call your family, uh, love on as much as you can because we're here one day and gone the next. It's just the cycles of life. You know what I mean? But I had a good week this week, family. My job is going good. Just been real slow, but I'm still working. Um, and I just want to say, keep pushing, keep pushing. I want to give you all encouragement. Keep pushing. Endure in your life. Endure in your everyday. Uh, the enemy is always always walking around, seeing who he can devour. I was listening to our good elder today. He's a lawyer, a good elder lawyer, right? Um, and he just said some good things. Just said some good things. He brings out some powerful things out the Bible. He's one thing I do want to mention is that he was saying how strong people were, our ancestors were back in the day. How strong, how much stronger they are than us today. Not really meaning on a uh, physical strength level, like broad strength level, but really meaning how they were mentally tough, how they survived slavery, how they survived months in the bottom of a slave ship. That is the kind of strength he mentioned. And because the Bible does speak about that. It does speak about that. Again, I'm no preacher. I can just regurgitate what I've read and the notes that I've taken, right? But it does say that in Second Esdras about how much stronger our ancestors were, but that each generation gets weaker. We're not built like our ancestors were built. Ford tough, Ahia tough, Yeshaya tough. And uh, you know, that's why when it's time for the kingdom to come, we got to take the kingdom. It was given. Now we got to take it. Things have changed for us. We got to take it now because the Most High is waking up. He's waking us up. And when you wake up, you got to do better. When you know better, you do better. So we don't have an excuse. It's there for the taking. Kingdom of the Most High. And we just got to endure and live this life and just do what the scriptures tell us to do. Go by the 10 commandments. Love your neighbor. Love yourself. Husband and wife, be on one accord. Yes, we're going to have disagreements. Yes, it's going to be times we don't like her and she doesn't like you. Yes, it's going to happen. We're human. We're men and we're women. We see things differently. One of us see the cup as half full. The other one see it as half empty. We view things differently. So I'm glad, family, that you all chimed in tonight. I'm really, really ecstatic about that. Each and every week, time is passing, family. Like I said, this Tuesday came around quick. I'm like, whoa! I was just on this platform, but time stands still for no one. Stand still for no one. And I'm just happy for you all. Listen to me. I'm happy for the ones on this platform who make it go. Like I said earlier, I can't say more. I'm just ecstatic about that because I'm on the radio. Who don't want to be on the radio? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a dream come true, to be honest with you. But anything is work. Anything is work. One of my dream jobs was to be, when I was young, an ESPN analyst. And I say that because that's back then I was into sports heavy. There was one time, family, in my life where I could tell you who went to the NBA, where they came from for like 15 years. I can go back 15 years in my memory bank and tell you. But things have changed. Things have changed. Because again, time stands still for no one. And we all look back at our younger selves and be like, well, if I knew then what I know now, impossible. If we knew then what we know now, we would, like the scriptures say, that the Gentiles would have already accepted the Most High. We would already accepted the Most High. We'd have come out of these curses that are on our ancestors, on us, on our ancestors. Right? But I digress. I don't want to go off into a tangent, which I was about to do. Now, you all know in the past I would give some jokes. But before I go, family, I'm not going to give you some jokes. I'm just going to give you one joke. And this joke I actually acquired from a good sister. And she know who she is. She sent it to me last week. I was like, okay, I'm going to use that. I'm just going to give you this one joke. All right? Side of things. So, family, yes, dad jokes, but in this case, a dad joke, right? All right. What do you call a woman who sets fire to all of her bills? Who sets fire to all of her bills? Now, before I give the answer, does anyone got any answers out there you want to put in the chat? What do you call a woman who burns all of her bills? I'll wait a couple minutes. I got a couple minutes to wait, before I spill the beans. There's only one joke, but what do you call a woman, family, who burns all of her bills? Well, no takers. You call a woman who burns all of her bills Bernadette. Get it? Bernadette. Hey, I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. Hey, listen, that's funny. That's funny right there. That's funny. You can't tell me that ain't funny. What you call a woman who burns all her bills, Bernadette. Hey, listen, with that said, I wish I could Bernadette. Oh man, but family, it's really been a pleasure. You know, it really has. It always will be. Um, I'll start to have more and more jokes. I got more and more jokes. I'm just gonna come out with some clean ones that I can say on air, right? Because I gotta be right in what I say. I can't be slack in what I say. I can't I'll say anything negative, right? That's not what this platform is about. This platform is all about positivity. Okay, because when you learn more, when you know more, you do better, right? So again, family, I do want to thank you all for listening to me. I want to thank you all for chiming in. And again, I want to leave you with the saying of the day. Yesterday, family, is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. Today is a gift of God, which is why we call it a present. You know, so again, stay prayed up, sin not, get angry. You can get angry, just don't sin. The Bible tells us that. You can get angry, just don't sin. Get angry, walk away. If you got a bad butt child and that child angers you, you know you got to, handle that, spank them. Don't spank them when you're angry. I say that because my niece did something last week sometime. And what I did, I spanked her, but I waited till I was calm and I talked to her. I said, well, do you know why I'm about to spank you? Yeah. I said, you don't know why I'm about to spank you? Yeah. And so I told her what she did. I said, you understand why you're getting spanked now, right? Yeah. And so I handled that accordingly. So when you get angry, don't sin. Calm down. Because whatever happened is still going to be there. Calm down and handle your business. I don't care what's going on. Get into an argument. Don't take those first words for truth or for what that person really means. Because when you get into an argument, people want to hit you in the gut. They want you to feel how they feel in that moment. Don't go for it, because at that moment is a spirit. It's a spirit. Remember, when Christ was walking the earth and he was talking to Peter, and Peter was like, you don't have to die. Basically, I'm just, summarizing. And Christ was like, get behind me, Satan. Because Satan is a spirit. And he entered Peter real quick to say that. So remember, don't take things the wrong way when you get into a little skirmish. We have to remember that everything is a spirit. Everything is a spirit. The moon, the sun, evil words, evil tempers, evil souls, bad spirits. All we can do is put on the entire armor of the Most High, fast, and pray. That's all we got is prayer. So again, my beloved family, as I always say, stay prayed up, sin not, love your neighbor. And Most High willing, I will see you here on the same bat channel, same bat time. I love you all.
2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye should never fall. We won the fight, now it's time to get through the war. With Yeshaya and I pray, let us through the door. Gave up this world through your word, we will stay protected. All praises to the Father, cause we've been elected. The world has gone left, that's how I know Christ is right. Souls get sold to the highest bidder like the price is right. could slice a knife through all the tension in my own abode. A man's foes will be those in his own household. When Esau ends the world, Jacob will reign supreme. But for now, we go through troubles that I can't believe. Nah, this ain't make-believe. Y'all too busy fantasizing. If Jacob seeks a sign, then open up the book to find it. Must I remind you that these prophecies worth more than diamonds? Go grab a plow, cause ain't no time to sit back reclining. I know a higher sees a lot of God's children crying. When I was asleep, I was a cub, but then woke up a lion. I hope for Zion, not for Rome, because the Pope is lying. I sacrificed my life for Christ and no, I won't defy him. So mandates and vaccines, there is no complying. You trust in science, now your body and your soul is dying. We won the fight, now it's time to get through the war. With Yeshaya and I pray, let us through the door. Gave up this world through your word, we will stay protected. All praises to the Father, cause we been elected. We won the fight, now it's time to get through the war. With Yeshaya and I pray, let us through the door. Gave up this world through your word, we will stay protected. All praises to the Father, cause we been elected.
Another day, another dollar. Babylon is full of problems. Got me working crazy hours just to pay your honor. Ain't no honor in this life now. War is going right now. Open up your eyes, you glorifying this little life. How? Sword on my side, that's the word in the battlefield. Full armor on in the ring like I'm Holyfield. But I can't forget that shield of faith. Looking for them better days. Praises to the Father, cause he blessed me with a lot of grace. Grace to run this race is not a sprint, but it's a marathon. Running with my ox, they all I got, they passing up a time. Read your holy word, I hear the Father saying, trust me, trust me. I will indeed, until the end we will succeed. Face no defeat, we the warriors, the Maccabees. You say some silly mess about the Bible, I reject it. We the servants of a Mashiach, we been elected.
We won the fight, now it's time to get through the war. With Yeshaya and I pray, let us through the door. Gave up this world through your word, we will stay protected. All praises to the Father, cause we been elected. We won the fight, now it's time to get through the war. With Yeshaya and I pray, let us through the door. Gave up this world through your word, we gotta pray for the elect, man. All praises to the Father, cause we been elected. I need my passion back, in other words, I have to rap. These demons coming back to back like Drake, they want my soul to snatch. Feel like an asthma attack, sometimes I wanna give up. When life cuts me deep, like an episode of Nip Tuck. Follow the path to Yeshaya and I get stuck. This narrow road to the kingdom, just praying I don't get struck by Satan's traps. I know he's smiling when I slip up. Through the mouth of babes, Christ speaks without the sip cup. Fighting off the flesh, no more sin because I'm through with mine. Let's turn water into wine like St. John's 2:9. I'm doing fine but could be better when I'm locked in. With the Holy Spirit guiding me, how could I not win? Boxed in without the smoke, just some scripture verses. Putting down my worldly ways for a different purpose. To rise with Christ, ain't nobody stopping this emergence. Gather elect to the elect and then we get conversive.